Hello everyone and welcome to Ōkami. Let's get to this one. Now I've run this game a couple of times now already for BSG, but this time is going to be slightly different than my usual runs because we're doing a brand new category. What that category means I'll explain later on during the run, but it's a New Game Plus category, so first and foremost we have to go to a New Game Plus file. So without much further ado, I am just going to give Tech a countdown and then we're going to start the run. So in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. So at the start of any New Game Plus run, or any Ōkami run in general, honestly, we have to get through the first couple of cutscenes and then go into the tutorial section where the game kind of explains to you how to play the game. And that is Into the Cave of Nagi. The basic story idea of the game right now is that the world is engulfed in evil and we are a wolf god who can try and restore the world, so to speak. Yeah, I think it's restoring, you can say that. So right here, you might notice this trail of flowers behind me. That's what we like to call speed. Having more flowers is always better. You have like three different modes of speed. No speed, half speed, and full speed. Other people call it a dash, but I don't, so here's the main gimmick of the game. This is the brush. With the brush you can manipulate the world. For instance, draw a star to complete a constellation. And whenever you complete a constellation like that, you get a new brush power. Now with the brush power, or celestial brush, you can do stuff like this. Like the power I got back was called rejuvenation. And with rejuvenation I can rejuvenate this river, for instance. And then it's just, now we can actually swim to the other side, which is pretty neat. Go. Another thing that's kind of important for a lot of like glitch related stuff is, like, right now I'm playing in the zoomed out camera, but you also have like a zoomed in camera like this, which kind of tracks you more. The zoomed out camera just kind of allows you more freedom of light. Yeah, the light is terrible, I know. It's been haunting my streaming ever since I moved here. But yeah, anyway. Now we are going up here, rejuvenating this sword, and we are getting another brush power. So this brush power is called Power Slash, and this is what it does. You can slash things in half with it. Especially in casual playthroughs, you'll see this used a lot. But in this case, we kind of need it to basically just progress the story, and that way we can play the game. So right here we're going to do one of the first skips in the run. We're going to walk a little bit farther to the left. And there we go. We just skipped ourselves a fight. Good stuff. We're going to do a lot of that, just walking around certain triggers for cutscenes or for... or for fights. And that way we're going to do a lot of our skips. There's also going to be a bunch of cooler skips, but we'll get there when we get there. There's a lot to explain. So right after we have finished the tutorial section right here, we're going to go outside and we're going to cut down the fruit. You can barely see it on the screen, sadly, but that fruit just kind of holds the soul of the village, and by like releasing it, we can try and save the village. Now, in most New Game Plus categories, we skip saving the village. We just kind of leave it to do its thing. But sadly, because of a lack of a certain glitch, we cannot skip it in this category. I'll explain more about that glitch a little bit later on. So right here, we have all these statues of the people, and we are going to talk to at least 2 here, and then another third one back up there. So there we go. After talking to 3 people, we're gonna do some cool jumping. There we go. Ah, I fell off. I'm not that great at this specific trick, but I'm still gonna try it. It is not a hard... Wow, that was a terrible angle. It is not a hard trick, honestly. I always forget to practice it, so I just keep falling off like that. Okay, never mind. I'm just gonna run around. Ugh. So you can basically just jump up the geometry right there to get on top of that platform. And we can just go over here. It's easier. And then we learn a new brush power. This is Sunrise. It basically allows us to make it day. And right here is one of the New Game Plus things. So you see me equip a whole lot of items and then use a battle item. So in New Game Plus, what you keep from your previous playthrough is all of your upgrades, all of your money, but also all of your, most of your weapons and a certain set of special items. And we kind of abuse that in this speedrun. So right now I have like a late game weapon equipped, and I also have a special like New Game Plus item equipped that I'll explain in a little bit. So it's a little mini game. We basically have to do this one to progress later on into the game. There we go. Not get swatted. And then we will rejuvenate this mill. And because we rejuvenate the water mill, our good friend Kushi over here, who's gonna walk into the screen, can make sake again. By the way, I'm moving backwards to prevent like too much sun glare. In a little bit I'll be able to move forward again when the time is right. But yeah, we got a bottle of sake. Oh, I don't want to pull on her, thank you very much. And we get this one earlier than you would kind of do in the... what's it called? Earlier than you would normally do in a normal playthrough, but yeah. Right here we're using, by the way, a special battle item called the Exorcism Slip, or just Slip for short. It deals a lot of damage to everything in the battle arena, and because we have so many of it, we're going to be abusing it basically for the entire run. Which is kind of useful. So right here, we've got a sleeping dude. We're gonna wake him up because we need him to be able to get out of the village. So that's our goal right now. Our goal is to just get out of the village. But this boulder is in the way. So we take him to the merchant and he's like, oh, I can't cut this boulder down without doing some training. And by training, he means sitting over here drinking. So that's why we got the sake. Because by giving him more sake, he's like, okay, maybe I should do some actual training. And because he sucks, we're gonna help him slash through these targets and this little rock. There we go. And now he's properly fired up, so he's gonna go and try the big rock. Oh, there we go. Cool. And that's the big rock down. And now we can finally leave the village. Okay. And then we can go into the wider world of Nippon. So this is Shinshu Field. It is currently cursed, so basically the area is, well, for more than half of it, like you see the black smudge on the map, we cannot enter it. And the way to fix it is by basically rejuvenating that tree over there. But we don't have the right rush power to rejuvenate it just yet. So we're gonna go into this side area over here called Hana Valley to get that rush power. I'm gonna take a sip of water. Okay, I can sit over here so that I don't get hit by the sun. Cool. I'll be moving further to the left throughout the run. I'm closer to the mic now as well, so that's fun. So here, once again, we just jump into a fight. And again, just with a single slip, we just deal with it. Now, something you might have noticed me doing for a little bit is jumping in and out of cutscenes. So right here, I jumped in and I jumped back out again. So what that basically does is called speed storage. Whenever you jump into a cutscene, you store your speed. And whenever you jump out of the cutscene without moving the stick first, you will basically get your speed back. And that way we can keep full speed through most of this run, which is really useful. Speed restoration is a very important part of this run. Go. Another quick fight. So yeah, with the slips, fights just become a formality, really. So right here, we're gonna draw a nice little circle and get a sunrise. Because they're kind of like, oh, that's pretty cool. Like, look at how this ritual works. And by doing that, for some reason, this rock disappears and we can go into the next area of Hana Valley. So here we have a nice little sapling. And we kind of want to make it bigger. So we're just going to go like that into the back area. And do one of my more favorite minigames, and that is help Susano again. Because as per usual, he kind of sucks at cutting down things, so we're gonna help him cut down these torches. By the way, while he's doing that, he's saying his own name. Which is kind of funny. And there we just gently nudge the bear off the ball, so we can get the ball. So this ball sucks. The collision for this ball is a little bit too precise, making it a little bit unwieldy to move around. There we go. That was okay. So you can do that way faster. I kind of took my time this time. But yeah. That ball can be kind of obnoxious. And then to complete this little ritual, we draw the sun. And by drawing the sun, we get a new brush power. So this brush power is called Bloom, and this is what it does. It blooms trees. And in this case, if you bloom these guardian saplings, you will basically restore the area again.
Am I able to quickly interrupt for a quick second?
2 seconds. So right here, we're going to be doing some weird jumps along the wall, like so. And that way we skip another fight over there, and now you can go.
Alright. quickly go to say something. We want to thank ESA for supporting the event and for allowing us to stream on their channel. For information about their upcoming events and any changes due to COVID-19 outbreak, be sure to check out esamarathon.com. And also, another thing to say, do donate to Mind, as we're raising money to Mind, which is a nationwide organization committing to prevent mental health issues and to support everyone who has dealt with mental issues themselves or within their family. All donations will go to Mind, and donating here as well, you can put it towards a bid war, which is coming up right after this run, which is Spider-Man, or Marvel Spider-Man, where you can choose Spider-Man's costume, the way he will look in his battles of glory.
So yeah, we restored the Shinshu field right now, and now we're gonna go on to the next bit. So the game just kind of tells you like, oh hey, you can now like explore this place, and it marks like these spots on the map where you need to go explore. But we're only really going to go to 2 things before leaving this area already. So right here, we talk to this priest, and he gives us a list of monsters. Now, the monster list itself is not important. The important thing is that the game tells you how the monster list works. And to do that, it makes it night and spawns the fight. So right here we got one of the listed monsters, and I got really unlucky on the beads. And whenever you kill the listed monster, the fight just kind of ends. And we can continue on. Boop. And we cross him off the list. We're not going to do anything else with the list. The only thing we're really needed for is to make it night, so we can go to the next area over here to get our next brush power. Oh, there we go. Kind of jump over here to get into this fight. So this is another kind of like quick fight. Again, we're just going to use a slip to quickly end the fight, and then we can continue on to the next area. Yeah, missed. So right here, we talk to Tama, and he gives he's like a pyrotechnician, and he's like, oh, I don't have any inspiration anymore, and we help him out, and by helping him out we get ourselves a new brush power, in this case Cherry Bomb. So Cherry Bomb basically summons this bomb, and you can crack open walls with it. It is also a great way of dealing damage to enemies, so especially in the new game speedrun and in casual playthroughs, I would highly recommend using it to kill enemies. In this playthrough, it's only really important to get to certain areas. So now we are completely done with Shinshu Field for now, which is kind of weird because usually you wouldn't be able to escape this area. However, I'm going to show you a pretty cool glitch. There we go. So what I'm kind of doing is not really supposed to be able to happen, especially if I fall into the water. So this is what we like to call the Karmic Transformer, or the KT glitch. By, in this case, going against a slope and then switching Karmic Transformer, I can get a jump where I'm not supposed to be able to jump. There we go. Now, what's kind of special about the way I'm doing it right now is that technically this glitch has been patched. And I'll explain a bit later because we're going into another glitch real quick that I actually need to explain as well. So right here, we're gonna go into the brush, and we're gonna be moving the brush while also moving the camera. This kind of unlocks the camera and allows us to move it out of bounds, so we can bloom the Agata tree out of bounds. Ta-da! And rejuvenate this area. So going back to the Carbon Transformer story. Now, in the original PS2, Wii, and the PS3 games, you could basically switch your Carbon Transformer in mid-air and then get an infinite jump that way. However, in the 2017 remakes, this glitch specifically has been patched. The actual being able to create extra jumps has not been patched. So that's what we're using in this specific speedrun, and that's why it's called New Game Plus 2017. And we're going to be using it a lot throughout the run, and there's some really cool, specific to this category, skips and glitches, and it's pretty cool. So basically, like, the only way I can use that infinite jump glitch is on slopes and above water, basically. Those are the only conditions where I can use it. And going up here just now, I unlocked a fast travel point for later. So anyway, that's the only thing we're going to be doing in this area, and we're just going to go straight onto the next area, which is locked off by this torrent of water you can't jump over. Except that we do have this glitch, and that allows us to jump over, which is pretty cool. So that's like the main big difference between this category and the new game category. We can actually do a couple of sequence breaks that the new game category can't do. Which makes this a very unique mix between New Game Plus and New Game. Because in a normal New Game Plus, we can just kind of go crazy and move to places where you're definitely not supposed to be able to go and just sequence break everything. But in this category, you're still kind of locked, but there's still a lot of cool glitches that we use from the New Game speedrun.
Am I able to again say a few words?
Yeah, go ahead.
Alright. For any newcomers here, we are the Benelux Speedrunner Gathering. We organize bi-monthly gatherings in the Benelux for speedrunners. But due to due to situations surrounding COVID-19, we're currently doing our extended BSG online event instead of our week-long annual, with streamers from both the Benelux and the rest of the world bringing you entertainment during the lockdown.
So yeah, right there, I, by the way, had to do a little fight before I could go to this tree. And after blooming this tree, we can continue on in this area. So I kind of just jump off here to get closer to the tree. Like, what the game expects you to do is to rejuvenate like a broken bridge and then go over that to bloom the tree, but you can just do it from a little bit further away. Just kind of silly. So right as we start in Taka Pass, we're going to be doing a little minigame. Now this minigame is very important. If I don't, for this specific run, if I don't do this minigame, I basically can't continue the run. So that's why we do it first. Or I would have to come back to do it, basically. So this is the Molly minigame. We have to headbutt the blue mole. And you can kind of track where he's going via the little trails on the ground. And that's kind of how you make sure that you that you get to the right hole every time. And after defeating them, you get a little teacup, and we're gonna bring that to the Tea Master because they have lost their teacup. And there we go. And after giving that to the Tea Master, they give us the golden mushroom, which we're gonna be using later on to do some cool glitchy stuff with. Well, not really glitchy stuff, but yeah, just unintended things. Let's call it unintended things. And up next, we're going to go through this gate. And whenever you go through this gate, you get a fight. And you usually get a pretty nice reward after defeating these kinds of fights. So once again, we're pretty strong. And we just quickly defeat these enemies. And after defeating this fight, we get another fast travel point that we're going to be using later on. For now, we're just setting those up early. Now, if you're playing this casually, what you would want to do first is to go to Kusa village, which is a little bit further ahead. But what we're going to be doing is going to straight to this place called Sasa Sanctuary. It is basically a bird mafia place, and you can't enter. Like, the gate is closed because the boss's daughter has been kidnapped. However, we're gonna be doing some cool stuff. So again, we're gonna use some slope KTs, as they're called, to get up a slope right here. And by doing so, we fall out of bounds. And we're basically doing a glitch called interior clip. And the reason why it's called interior clip is because of what's going to happen in a few seconds. There we go. So we basically, from an outside area, we fell into an interior area, an exterior interior. So by going out of bounds... Oh yeah, let me do that explanation again. So in this game, the interior areas are below the exterior areas. So if you drop down out of bounds from the exterior area, you can get into the interior area. And we use that to go into this minigame. So this is a digging minigame. The idea is that we get the green dude, Mr. Bamboo, all the way down as quickly as possible. Oh, I do want to draw a little circle. And by doing so, in this case, we dig up a hot spring, which gives us a new brush power again.
Could I quickly interrupt for 2 donations?
Sure, go ahead.
All right, we have a €1 donation from Grumpmeister saying Bork.
Bork.
And Sniper Wave with another €1 donation saying €1 Bork train? Bork?
Bork. So yeah, the brush power we get is Water Spout. It gives you the ability to use water with a brush, basically, like so, and create those pillars. Also, I would love some Borks. Borks are cool. For every donation, I will press the Bork button once. There we go. So that's 2 Borks. If you want to hear more Borks, donate for Borks. For every euro donated. So right here, we're going to go to the back of Sasa Sanctuary, and we're going to talk to that dude, and we have this random thing just float up in the middle. What that is, I'll explain a little bit later. But for now, we're basically doing sequence breaks, so we're not actually supposed to do this yet. Which is going to create some really cool things in a little bit. So here we have a fight against a dog. And we're just going to shoot him out of the air, like so. Stealth speed, cool, yeah. And there we go. So defeating that dog is kind of important sequence break for a little bit later on. So I will explain what that caused a little bit later. So because currently Sasa Sanctuary is still locked, we cannot actually just run out. Luckily, however, when we get here, we meet Mr. Bamboo again, and he gives us mermaid coins. This one. Now, mermaid coins are used to move between the fast travel points. and we unlock a fast travel point right here. So we circumvent the gate completely by traveling back to Taka Pass using the fast travel point. Now at this point you think like, oh, he's finally gonna go to Kusa village now, and he's gonna go over there and meet more doggos, and no, we're not gonna do that. Instead, we are going to go all the way to the next area already. We're just kind of done here for now. So this is City Checkpoint. Now you got this giant drawbridge, and the only way you can lower it is by having a specific brush power that you get from defeating a very long dungeon. However, luckily we do not need to lower this drawbridge. We have a really cool skip we like to call CC skip, but technically it is Moon Cave skip. There's like 3 versions of it. We're going to be using the version that is easiest for this category. If I don't drown, that's cool. So right here, we're not even supposed to be in this geometry. But luckily, this geometry is here. And we're going to be using more of these slope KTs to get some height. And I messed it up a little bit. I wasn't close enough to the slope. Like whenever the slope gets very steep, it becomes a little bit harder to get the slope KT to work. Oh, didn't get a bonk. Wow. Okay, let's go. I did practice this earlier today, but it can get a little bit finicky with your height. This is like very close as to how high you need to be before you can actually make it. It took me a very long time to even find this specific method. Wow. Oh boy, not getting lucky today. Damn. Probably should have gone on the first one, I had a lot of height. I'm playing it a bit too safe right now.
While you're trying to get this, try to get over this hill, am I able to say a few words?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Alright. Well, if you want to know more about what's happening, you can stay up to date with our events by following us on Twitter and Instagram under the handle BSG Marathon. Get a behind-the-scenes look of an event and stay up to date with the latest news on our marathons, events, and more.
There we go. Woo! Yeah, okay, so that one can get a little bit finicky, sadly. Sorry, I interrupted you.
Alright.
I don't even need to finish because we're already at the next area. So this is Ryushima Coast. It is also cursed, so we're gonna look for the tree and we're gonna fix it. To do that, we'll be giving you guys a taste of what a cursed zone actually means. Whenever you get into a cursed zone, you basically get this. You get this kind of drowning thing on top of you. Whenever that empties, you void out and lose a health. And you can't use your brush. The only reason why we went into that area real quick is to skip a fight. And then we're gonna do more cool brush shenanigans. Again, pulling the brush down while angling it. And we can rejuvenate this over here. Now the cool thing is, because we play 2 cutscenes at the same time, for some reason we can use our brush powers right here. Which is pretty cool. And like that, we can rejuvenate this tree. So we basically used our brush powers in the middle of a cutscene, which is the only time you can ever do that. It's really weird.
You know what else is pretty cool?
Mm-hmm.
Donations.
Ooh. Give me a few seconds. So remember earlier during the Sasa Sanctuary thing, where we had an exterior area and an interior area, and we fell into the interior area. We're going to be doing that again, because we haven't had enough of that. This is like one of the first cases of that. Yeah, okay, that was not supposed to happen. So I am supposed to clip there, but I'm not supposed to fall down when I clip. So I'm trying to get over there to that little balloon you saw over there. But yeah, sometimes you clip in the wrong spot and you just fall down like this. So let's try that again. I'm gonna jump out to make sure I don't clip in again. So I'm gonna clip a little bit higher than I did, because then we get over here, and then we can actually move our jump. There we go. And by falling down over here, we fall into this guy's dojo, which can give us cool techniques or power us up. The only thing we're really interested in... Oh, wow, I spawned in front of him, that's new. The only thing we're really interested in this case is double jump. So this basically allows us to jump twice, which in a lot of cases basically allows us to clip out of bounds in places where the game just doesn't expect you to be able to clip out of bounds. There we go.
Bork.
Bork.
Wait, yeah. Is this now some good time or no?
Not yet. Like, I've still got about 10 minutes of high-intensity technical skips to go through, so I'd rather not.
Alright.
So yeah, I'm sorry. But that's just the nature of this section of the run. So now that we've learned double jump, we're gonna go into a city. But to do that first, we're gonna have to skip a fight. And we're gonna do that by jumping right here. And then jumping over here, and ta-da, we skipped a fight. That skip looks easy, but can be really stupid and annoying. But in this case, it worked really nicely. It looked really, really easy. So yeah, this is Sai'an City. It is currently covered in a fog. We're not going to do anything about that fog. That people can deal with it themselves. But instead, we're going to be doing another really cool little trick. I can never get this specific setup for it, so we're gonna go over here. Ooh. We're gonna once again go up some slopes by doing some KTs and move ourselves a little bit further to the right here, and then we're gonna clip. Oh, we're gonna go over the gate and go back into the freaking. Let's do that again. So sometimes I'm trying to dodge like a couple of invisible walls, and sometimes those walls can really mess you up, and you fall into the loading zone back out instead, which is kind of sad. There we go. So let's try this again. Yeah, okay, that sometimes happens. Okay. Okay, cool. This time we're properly out of bounds. We're gonna be jumping down and once again doing an interior clip, so we're once again falling through this bit. And we're gonna fall straight into this restaurant. So the reason why I do this is so I can give this guy the golden mushroom, and this gives us a brush upgrade. However, it gives us a brush upgrade for a brush power we actually don't have. However, the game is fine with giving us this brush upgrade because it expects you to have it. But the cool thing is we don't. So this brush upgrade is called Fire Burst, and it'll be our source of fire and slowdown for the entirety of this run, which is going to be important. Now, the interesting bit about why I had to go all out of bounds for it is the fact that the restaurant doesn't exist except the interior. So like right there you saw just an empty area. That's where the restaurant is supposed to go, but it doesn't exist. So yeah, I have to go out of bounds to fall into the interior. On to the next skip. So this is called bridge skip, because you skip lowering the bridge. So what we are doing, we're gonna go over to this tree, and we're gonna jump on top of it, and just skip it like that. First try. That skip is way, way harder than I made it look. I barely get it first try lately. So yeah, now that that skip is done, we're gonna be going to a skip I find really annoying. So we're gonna talk to Waka first. Zoom out and go over here. Ah, damn. Little bit bad angling there. So what I'm trying to do here is I am trying to jump over a certain invisible wall and kind of clip into it so I can skip around this building. Like this. And by doing that, we clip all the way on the other end, and we save a lot of time in a bunch of cutscenes that we need to talk to, basically. And then we're gonna go into this area, but however, if I get too close to the guards, this happens. Like, the guards are like, oh, you're not supposed to be here, and they push you back. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm gonna grab this guard, I'm gonna bonk against him, and that allows me to skip into the palace. So yeah. Guards are doing a very good job right there. Very good job. So yeah, and after that, we go into Himiko's palace, which is, she is like the queen of the city, and we're gonna be talking to her. Give me a moment. We're gonna do a little lava skip right here. So basically lava is also a liquid, so we can do a liquid KT over it, and we're fine. And now I can finally tell you, Snowdog, to go ahead with the donations.
I've been itching to say something, alright.
Yeah, I'm sorry, the skips are just so annoying.
At least you got them.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. We have a €1 donation from Cinderdog96 saying Bork.
Bork.
Critical did 159 or 159 with a €5 donation. €5 for 5 Borks. Bork. And
okay,
then,
I got all the Borks. Yeah, go ahead,
more.
sorry.
Alright, Becker's Björn, or Shuri Bear, with a €1 donation saying orc soup you eat with a Bork.
That's pretty good. So that's what happens when you fall into the lava, by the way. It ain't pretty. Ooh, okay, I can make that. Cool. So you can actually make the jump without actually doing a liquid KT on both ways. On the way back, it's a lot easier than doing it on the way to it, basically. It has actually like been one of the most difficult glitches in the run. Apparently there's an easier setup for it now that New Game uses to skip over that lava. I haven't really seen it yet, sadly, but it's pretty cool, and it used to be like multiple frame perfect tricks in a row and stuff like that, and now it's just a little bit easier. So again, like, this is what we skipped, by the way. We skipped that woman over there. Usually she gives you a bunch of cutscenes, but we can just skip past her, and now we're gonna just leave the city. So after having a big skip gauntlet, we can just kind of relax again and just continue with our run. So we're going to start to need to fast travel in a little bit, which means that I need more mermaid coins because I only ever got one. So we're gonna go over here to this merchant and buy us some mermaid coins. Now we couldn't really buy those earlier because he's like the first merchant we meet along the way. That's like en route, but also because all the other merchants that didn't have mermaid coins until we got our first mermaid coin. So yeah, that's also a thing. Right here we're gonna go into this demon gate and we're gonna destroy this fight real quick. And by destroying this fight, we get another mermaid spring to use for a little bit later on. So right there, we talked to the guard. That's why we went to Queen Himiko, so we can basically talk to the guard and continue onward from here onto North Ryushima coast. So right there, Waka is like, oh, you guys were so slow, I just bloomed this entire area on my own because you guys took so long. I'm like, well, I'm sorry. It took me 45 minutes to do something that most people took like 8 hours, maybe 10. Like, hello? Maybe even longer than that. Trying my best over here. Apparently I'm not fast enough.
You can always be faster.
Yeah. So right here we're gonna help this guy getting... Well, it's gonna turn night first. We're gonna help this guy getting bullied by a bunch of kids. So it's like a grown man getting bullied by kids. Makes sense. And after doing that, we're gonna make a day again. So basically the guy's like, oh... There's like this orca thing. Oh, hey, there's an orca thing. There we go. So this is Orca. Orca is our friendly neighborhood whale, and he will be transporting us around the water in this area because we suck at swimming and he doesn't. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And we're gonna go over to a wonderful place for cat lovers, because there's going to be a whole bunch of mowing. So if your cat reacts to the mouse of other cats, this is a great moment to lock them up. So yeah, this is Cat Call Tower. It is an incredibly huge tower, and we're going to be climbing it. But first, we're going to set up like that, and I still got into the fight. So what I tried to do there is skip this fight by jumping around its trigger. Sadly, I undershot a little bit, so just gonna have to use a slip to get through the fight. So now we're gonna be climbing the tower. So the way you climb the tower is you press the jump button to adhere yourself to the like paw prints wall, basically the golden bit, and then to release again you have to jump again. So basically what I'm doing is constantly, like whenever I land, I double tap the jump button to make sure that I quickly get on with jumping. And it's slightly faster to get a double jump, so I also have to pull the stick to down every time I jump off, which is a little bit tricky, and this is really bad on your hands. So right here, what you can also do is you can dash off of the wall, which is pretty cool. Never knew that until the Japanese community showed it to us. Shoutouts to the Japanese runners, they are always amazing. There. Right here we're landing really quick to basically trigger that cutscene, because it's slightly faster to trigger that cutscene than to not trigger it. and get a weird other thing happening instead. Oh, that was terrible. There we go. So instead of just going up the stairs, we can jump over the stairs for a little bit and only have to run to the last bit. So right here we have a cat. Hi, cat. And this cat is a little bit hungry. So we're gonna give him some fish. Or apparently we're not giving him some fish. Because Switch controls always mess me up. So after giving the cat something to eat, we get ourselves a new brush power. This brush power is called Catwalk, and it basically allows us to create that golden sticky pattern on walls close to these kinds of statues, so like that. And then we can climb over it. It only really has 2 uses in the speedrun, and one of which we could even skip, but sadly the other one we can't skip, and it's kind of been... well, actually like 3 uses, I guess. We can skip the other uses except this one, except the one of them where we just can't skip it, so we cannot skip getting Catwalk for now. So, finally, after doing all of that, we're gonna go back to Taka Pass. Because now we have double jump and a few other cool things, and we're gonna be using that to kind of get our movement down fast. So now we're gonna go to Kusa Village, basically. We got this beautiful windmill in the background, which we're gonna do later.
During your walk back to the village, am I able to say a few things?
I could have already set them.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm confused. Anyways. Alright,
but yeah.
No, sorry.
So yeah, this area is also a little bit cursed. We cannot use our brush powers right now, but we can just walk around it normally. We're gonna uncurse it real quick, so you can really quickly say something.
Alright. You can consider using your free monthly Twitch Prime subscription right now on the ESA channel. You can grant access to all ESA emotes, as well as BSG emotes, to get BSG emotes while supporting the event. Well, there's some pretty good emotes. Spam away. Or, no, actually, I don't know.
There we go. Just in time. So, the reason why this area was a little bit cursed is because its matriarch was, like, under the control of some demons, and now we have defeated those demons. And ta-da, the area is kind of fine again. However, there's this big evil in the dungeon nearby, and to be able to open the dungeon, we need to find some dogs. And here we have this weird thing that was floating earlier as well. So this is called the canine tracker. It basically tracks these dogs. And that's how you find them, and that way you can open the gate to the next dungeon. There we go. And there are a total of 4 dogs right here that we need to feed to be able to continue. And they're all in different positions and places. I didn't want to talk, I want to open the menu. Thank you. So this was actually something a lot of people got stuck on for a little bit, because the game never actually tells you that you can use feedbacks without having to talk to the animal, so to speak. So a lot of people were just like, oh, how do I feed them? I want to feed them, but the game isn't letting me feed them. So yeah, it's kind of annoying. It's a small thing about the game. There we go. And then another dog appears. And we're gonna go feed him as well. So now that we've fed these dogs, we're gonna go to another dog in this area, which instead of us feeding them, he wants to duke it out, basically. Pop time, heck yeah. He wants to duke it out, so we're gonna go over to him and we are going to fight him. And again, because we're kind of overpowered thanks to our New Game Plus items, this fight becomes a little bit easy. Just a little bit. Wow, there's some guys in the chat right now. Damn. Ooh, swag buffer. So after defeating the dogs, defeating that dog, we're gonna go over here and we're gonna feed this dog. And after feeding that dog over there, we suddenly get warped over here. What? So this is what we lovingly have called, like a few days ago, meat warp. So basically, by doing that one dog earlier in Sasa Sanctuary, the game thinks we already have we already have one of the 4 required dogs fed that we need to feed before we can fight the one dog. Because of that other dog we couldn't get to really, we can feed later. And because every time you feed a dog, the game warps you in front of their position where they are supposed to be, you get warped all the way closer to the exit of Kusa Village. Which is pretty cool. And now we're going to continue backtracking, and in this case we're going to be backtracking to Agata Forest. So right here, because we triggered the dog quest, we got Kushi over here gathering spring water for another great batch of sake. We're going to help her with that. But after she has gotten the spring water, she gets attacked by demons. But luckily our great hero Susano is here to get helped by us. There we go. And after that, the canine tracker pops up again. I don't have speed. What am I doing? So we're gonna go follow it to our next doggo that we need to open the dungeon. Now right here we are going to be talking to this guy, and his favorite his dog basically has been eaten alive by the legendary Whopper, the Eater of the Moon. And so we're going to catch him using a fishing pole. So that is our quest right now.
What a experience to get the dog back.
Mm-hmm. It's very important. So the way fishing kind of works, you have to pull in a different direction from the fish, and that way you pull the fish closer. And they can get a little bit annoying. Luckily we're not doing top dog, so we don't have to catch a massive amount of them. But yeah, this is like a scripted minigame, and right now this is the fish we want to catch. So we're gonna try and catch the legendary Whopper right now. But wait a minute, that's not the Whopper. That's just a giant salmon. What? However, at the end of it, we still get the reward from catching the Whopper, which is a new rush power. That's weird. So yeah, what's kind of been happening right here is I've been overlaying 2 different minigames at the same time. So earlier in the run, like way early, we went and just skipped all the way to Taka Pass without doing anything in Agata Forest. By doing that, whenever we get to this minigame for the Whopper, the game still is like, oh, I still need to give you the first minigame for the giant salmon. However, because you have the giant Whopper quest activated, you also get the rewards for both of the minigames. So for the first minigame, we get the Tutaruinski, which we are using right now, and for the second one, we get the Crescent and the fight with the doggo. It's a pretty cool sequence break consequence. But yeah, just like that, we are into a dungeon. So this is Tsuta Ruins. And we're just gonna go straight into it and try to skip a cutscene. Which I am really bad at skipping. I can never get it. I need to practice this a bit more. And then we're gonna be doing some cool stuff. So in normal New Game Plus, we could like KT our way all the way up to a different bridge and skip a lot of this dungeon. However, because we don't have those freeform KTs, we're gonna have to be a little bit more creative. So we're gonna go into the center area, and we're gonna be using this statue in the middle to climb our way up. So this is all just slopes that we can do our KT trick on. Ah, damn. That was a bad angle. Let's try that again. And just like that, we're on this part of the body. So back when I first created this category and found this trick, the way we would like continue on right now is incredibly difficult and finicky. However, shoutouts to Oride, who has been finding a few little skips in this category as well, has made it a whole lot easier, and we're going to be doing his version right now. So right here, I'm trying to get another slope KT. I need to, there we go, get a specific dash for that. Ah, damn, messed that one up. Okay, let's try that again. Can be a little bit finicky, but most of these skips are. Oh, wow. Not enough height, let's try that again. Okay, that should be good. Awesome. And then we're gonna go, what? Okay, never filled it in that way yet. That's new. Just kind of walked off. Ugh. Getting the right dash is a little bit annoying sometimes. There we go. And now we're gonna go over here to this flower. So this flower is technically, I can't stand on it just yet. Oh no, I messed it up. Okay. Gonna have to do it again. Technically you wouldn't imagine being able to stand on it just yet, but apparently you just can. So we can use that as a valuable point to stand on. Okay, there we go. Finally got that bit right. And then just go back on. Go over there. Nope. Bad angle. So yeah, this bit can be a little bit hard. It's I got it pretty decently well during practice. Got it like a couple of first tries in a row. It's always annoying when it doesn't work out in runs. I want to go back. There we go. Okay. Let's try it again. Nope. I'm getting my angles wrong. I'm also trying to kind of get a faster version of it at the same time. If you get a lot of speed off of that jump that at the end, you can kind of just land on the shoulder of the statue a lot easier than what I'm trying to do right now. Yeah, I'm just not getting my angle right. Okay. Yeah. Oh, wow, that was even worse. Come on, Kinnin, you're better than this. There we go. Got the fast version. Okay, so my angle was just off. And by doing the fast version like that, we can just jump all the way over here and go to the next bit. Ah! First try. So we've gone on to this area where you got 3 demon gates, and to progress we're gonna have to destroy these. Yeah, 520, this is a specific category we dreamed up a while back. Just for the remakes. So yeah, again, these fights are kind of easy, we just kind of destroy them with slips. And then we can get on to this bit. So right here we draw the sun, so we can get these mushrooms to grow really big. Excuse me. To get these mushrooms really big, and by doing so, the game shows us like, oh, you can get to these pots. And the only time we can really slash these pots is after this cutscene has played. But instead of like being difficult and walking all the way around, we can just kind of jump from here and do a specific power slash, and there we go. We just get it instead of having to walk around it. And after slashing those pots, the water in this area is all blue again rather than purple, which means that we can now get into the center of the statue. So right here, into the center, and that way we can start getting ourselves a new brush power. There we go. So this brush power is called Vine, and basically it allows us to draw lines from those flowers to other things and pull them towards the flower. That's how that one works. And that's basically all we're really here to do. We're not gonna finish the dungeon or anything. We're just gonna leave out of the front door. Like, there's some story about, like, some stuff happening inside the dungeon, and we could technically make it all better again, but you know, we've got places to be. A long walk ahead of us, so if you got anything, feel free to say anything.
Currently no donations, but hey, I can say that we're raising money for Mind, which is a nationwide organization committed to prevent mental health issues and to support everyone who has dealt with mental health issues themselves or their family or in their families. All donations will go to Mind, and more information about it can. More information. Am I able to say more information about it? Sorry, I'm stumbling on words.
That's okay. Take your time. Take a deep breath.
Yeah. All right. In every region of the world, mental disorder surpass 10% of the population. Governments seem to lack momentum in regarding the burden of mental health problems. There's only 55% of mental health awareness and only 8% of suicide prevention plans. Organizations like mine help raise awareness to the issue, helping us to get one step closer to the world being the world where everyone gets the help that they need.
So we walk all the way back to Kamiki village, and this is all again still to, as you can see by the canine tracker, to get all the dogs. So all the way at the start of the run, we did a digging minigame where we got a bunch of turnips, and that's all the way that we did that just to get this fight to spawn. Without doing that digging minigame, this fight does not spawn. So we want to get that out of the way as early as we can. Oh, what am I doing? Luckily the fight is quite easy, and we just continue on. So yeah, for those that are just like tuning in right now to the speedrun, what does the 2017 mean in New Game Plus? So I'm playing this on the Switch version right now, which is one of the 2017 one of the versions based on a 2017 PC remake, or remaster rather. And the reason why this is different from the other versions of New Game Plus is because an infinite jump glitch that we could do in the middle of the air has been patched, and instead we can do instead we have to do them based on specific markers, like on specific places, like slopes or on water. And that creates a very interesting route, because we can still do certain sequence breaks that New Game Plus does, but we can also incorporate a lot of cool strats from the New Game speedrun. And that's just what this speedrun is about. So right here, we got another mermaid spring, and we're going to be using that to go back to Kusa village, because now we have completed the dog quest and we can finally enter the dungeon in Kusa village. So we're gonna go over there. It's like a big movement part of the run here. Nope. Um, 520? No, you cannot. Well, yeah, we kind of made this category because it was an interesting thought experiment as to seeing what we could do and what we couldn't do. But also, it's kind of a fun speedrun. It is an easier version of the New Game speedrun, without getting as glitch heavy as the New Game Plus, the other New Game Plus categories get. So that's pretty cool. Though later on we're going to be relying heavily on New Game to provide us with the skips needed to finish the game. So right there, we talked to the matriarch of the village again, and we got ourselves some orbs. And those orbs are basically the key for us to enter the Gil Shrine, which is our next dungeon. So if you've seen me do New Game Plus or brushes a while back, you might be thinking, oh, is he going to do that really difficult and convoluted skip again? No, we can't do that skip here. Well, technically we could, but not really. It's not worth trying. So instead we're just going to open the gate the normal way, and then we're going to enter the dungeon. So, at the start of Gil Shrine, we have this little area, and what we're going to be doing is go to the right here, so we can get a key to open a door to the next part of the dungeon. Easy as that. This part is mostly going to be like playing it the intended way. Yep, little key. But the cool thing about these keys is that I can just drop them randomly. And if I move far away enough from the key, it will just respawn back into my mouth. Which is kind of fun.
It's just playing fetch with yourself.
Mm-hmm. Except that I don't even need to grab it, it just appears. So yeah, we open this lock, and then we can go into this elevator. So this elevator you use bombs on, because that's how you operate elevators. Makes sense. There we go. And then we're gonna go over to this fight, which is the same fight we just did. And by doing that fight, we get another key! It's amazing. We'll grab that one, and then we're gonna go all the way to the top of this elevator. Whee! I didn't actually save speed. Oh, that's sad. So yeah, anyway, so now we are all the way on the top of this dungeon, or the windmill rather, and we're gonna go a little bit further to the actual blades that you can see over there. They're kind of big. Are they called blades? I think they're called blades. So yeah, this is the top of the windmill, and as you can see, it's not spinning, which is bad. We don't want it to not be spinning. So we're gonna be reversing the evil wind. And by reversing the evil wind, we can get ourselves a new brush power. So this brush power is called Gilstorm. And you can have 3 guesses as to what it does. It summons a Gilstorm. There we go. Now it opens up the way back down the whole dungeon, but instead of using that, we're gonna be jumping a little like this, going out of bounds, and just falling back to this part of the dungeon. There we go. So yeah, and instead of going to the boss of this dungeon and defeating him, we're once again going to just exit. We don't really need to defeat him at all, so we just continue on. And we're gonna do another large round of walking to get to our next destination. Yeah, so I'm gonna sit a little bit better.
Time to get your exercise walk in for the dog.
Mm-hmm. Very important.
Well, in this time, could I say a few words?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
All right. All right.
Yeah, you ready?
Oh, my eyes don't work. Anyways, we are the Benelux Speedrunner Gathering. We organize bi-monthly gatherings in the Benelux for speedrunners. Due to the situation surrounding COVID-19, we're currently doing our extended BSG online event instead of our week-long annual, with streamers from both the Benelux and the rest of the world bringing you entertainment during the lockdown. And a heads up, if you're interested in donating and putting towards a little bid war, there is one bid war during The Last of Us where you can high-five Ellie or pet the giraffe. In all honesty, petting a giraffe sounds 10 times better than high-fiving a human.
Hard agree. Very hard agree. So yeah, right.
If a human... Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. Continue.
I mean, if a human was a dog, then we have some competition.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, we're gonna warp back to Ryoshima Coast. And we can... we have to talk to this dude again to let us into North Ryoshima Coast. And this is slightly faster than triggering the Mermaid Spring in North Ryoshima Coast and using that. Because we need to be on the left here anyway, so we might as well just do it like this. So right here we're going to be using this cat statue to create ourselves a nice wall to climb on. And right at the top we're going to make it night. And I'm going to be jumping on top of this little building. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Okay, cool. And I jumped around like that to skip a fight. And then after the Stargazer will wish that we have this galaxy. Look at it. Ain't it pretty? That's a pretty galaxy. However, there's one issue with that galaxy. It's not spinning. We want it to be spinning. So let's use some wind to spin it, you know? More wind, and a third bound of wind. Look at that, that's a beautiful spinning galaxy. And oh hey, by spinning that galaxy, we summon a whirlpool. That's pretty cool. Don't ask me why that works. So yeah, we're gonna go into that whirlpool. Because we are cool people like that. Just bork with it. Ooh, barely made that one. So we're gonna go back onto Orca and we're gonna be going straight into the whirlpool. Now for the next skip, I could soft lock the game, so I hope I don't. It's gonna be a little bit tricky. I might take my time a little bit with this one and I might make some really scared noises here and there, but yeah, that's why I can actually soft lock the game here if I'm not careful. So this is the Dragon Palace. It's a pretty place. And we're just gonna skip most of it by going out of bounds here. Now the problem with going out of bounds in this area is that if I fall completely out of bounds, I cannot get back up again. Like there's no void plane. Oh boy, okay, no, let's redo that. I did the wrong jumps. There's no void plane, so you basically just get stuck on the bottom of this area. And we can't jump out in any way, shape, or form. So that's how that soft lock works. So that's why I'm a little bit careful here. I'm doing a couple of single jumps rather than double jumps. To make sure I don't overshoot. And there we go. Cool. That's not a soft lock. Awesome. So yeah, that was the skip. We get into this area early. We're supposed to like ask permission to get in here, but we're a wolf god. We don't need permission to enter this area. So yeah, this is the inside of the water dragon, and it's kind of pretty for the inside of a dragon, you know. But there's some issues here, so we're gonna look around and see what we can do to fix them. Well, the first thing we're going to do is jump down here and grab this key. And of course we're dropping the key, because why would you not if it just reappears again? Look at it. That's awesome. And with the key we can go through this gate and onto this center area of the water dragon. We've got this weird orb over there. And we kind of want to get that one loose. We're interested in it, so to speak. And to do that, we're going to go to the back here. Ah, damn. It's hard to kind of keep speed there through all the camera changes. So all of this red stuff is probably stomach acid. And because we're inquisitive dogs, we are going to release it. So now we got a whole bunch of stomach acid flying everywhere. So yeah, when we swim in it, it also like deals damage to your health, but we don't actually have any health because of New Game Plus items, which is kind of cool. Well, we technically do have health, we just have infinite amounts of it. Oh, that was interesting. There we go. And by using the stomach acid we can remove the orb. By removing the orb we get into a fight. So these are the tube foxes. They're really annoying to fight without slips, so we're just gonna cheese them a little bit using slips. And power slashing them when they're dead to quickly end the phase. Which is a nice little time save. So now we're gonna escape the dragon, because he's slowly dying right now. So I'm not sure if these are like blood droplets or acid droplets, never sure. But if they touch me, I get hurt. And if I get touched right here, I lose 20 seconds. Or if I'm an idiot, I fall down. That also works. So yeah, if I got hit there in the mid-air, I would just like fall down into the water like that, and they're like completely random droplets of water, so yeah, got a little bit unlucky. There we go. And now that we killed the water dragon, maybe we should like go and tell the people that were in charge of the water dragon, like, hey, we kind of killed your dragon, like, I'm sorry, but And they're like, oh no, you killed our dragon. And then I guess we get chased out. It's not the actual story of the game. Like, if you played the game, you kind of already know what's happening right now, but I don't want to spoil too much of the story because this is an incredibly fun game to play, and I recommend everyone to play it. It is pretty cool. Yep, that's a split. And there we go. So now we're gonna move on to our next little bit. Because we've heard that one of our friends is in trouble being chased, so we're going to go and check out what's going on with that. And on the way there, I'm gonna show a really fun little glitch, which is incredibly useless, but a lot of fun. I always show this during marathon runs in New Game Plus. So, when you grab a large animal, like this one, and then switch Karmic Transformer, you can do this. Whee! Which is funny. It has absolutely no use, but I love showing it off. So yeah, we're just gonna run over here onto that temple over there.
The horse thing still has me laughing. Hold on.
It's pretty cool.
He's just dancing. With, I don't know.
Just a happy horse. So yeah, we went a little bit off the beaten path to skip a couple of these kinds of cutscenes and just go straight on to the last of these cutscenes. And this will show us Pony Hawk. This will show us this little well we can go into to get a little shortcut, because I like shortcuts. So this is a shortcut to Himiko's palace. What? So yeah, something seems to be off with Himiko. We can tell by the very grave music. So we're just gonna go and check her out real quick. So again, doing another lava skip. Whee! It looks like Himiko isn't doing great. So we're just going to defeat the person that made her not feel so great. Poof. Done. However, the big bad got away, and we are gonna have to go and follow it into its lair. So that means going to the next dungeon.
The adventure continues.
3. Mm-hmm. Okay, and Snowdog, if you want to like say anything, this would be your moment, because after this is going to be another quite long, very, very technical section of run. So.
Oh boy! All right. Find something good to say. All right. Yeah, for anyone new here, we are raising money for the we're raising money for Mind, which is a nationwide organization to prevent mental health issues and to support everyone who has dealt with mental issues themselves or in their families. All donations will go to Mind. As well, you can put your donations towards the current bid wars that are still up for today. such as Marvel Spider-Man, where you can pick the outfit that Spider-Man will fight in. And in The Last of Us, you can pet the giraffe or give Ellie a high five. I am having favorites on one side, but competition is always a bit fun to see.
Which one is winning right now?
None of them.
Oh, okay. Well, come on, people. Snipe the giraffe. I mean, pet the giraffe, not snipe it.
Yeah, do get the giraffe.
So yeah, now that we're out of the city, we can continue to the dungeon, which we will see very ominously in the background right there, with all those clouds and everything. It's basically like a giant face with horns. It's like a mountain island thingy. So yeah, we're gonna have to go back up to Watcher's Cape. And because we skipped the fight once, we're gonna have to skip the fight again. So again, we're gonna have to jump around like this to not get into it. And then we are going to enter Oni Island, as it's called. Oni being a form of a demon, basically, so Oni Island. And then we're gonna go do some cool little skips and tricks, so prepare for a lot of them. So the first thing we're going to be doing is a very precise jump, which allows us to skip having to have a certain brush power. So, like this, that looks more precise than it is more precise than it looks. And then we're going to do a double jump and then bonk against an invisible wall to get over a different invisible wall, so we can get out of bounds like this. So by going out of bounds on this little... Oh wow, I lost speed. Oh, that's bad. Oh no. Okay, this is gonna be a bit slower. So by going out of bounds right here, we can skip having to go inside of the dungeon, which requires us to have certain brush powers and everything. Actually, I can... Yeah, okay. I'm gonna try and regain my speed real quick. Otherwise I might not be able to get to the end properly. This trick kind of relies on you having speed. Pretty low, but that's fine. Ah, damn, okay. So yeah, by jumping all the way over here, oh boy. I hate this bit. Oh my god. So I want to get on like a little bit higher above over there. I wonder if I can do slope KTs here. Okay, cool. Never actually tried doing slope KTs here. Oh my lord. I'm usually not this bad at this trick. That's really annoying. Okay, so by getting close enough, we can rejuvenate this arrow on the back of this statue, which will give us our next brush power. Usually you can just like make it without even having to do those weird jumps, so yeah. That's kind of annoying. And our next brush power is called Thunderstorm, and it allows us to control thunder like this. There we go. And then we can continue on to the next part of this dungeon. So yeah, we skipped about half of the dungeon now, and we're gonna skip another quarter of it in a little bit. But for now, we're gonna go into this this area right here and continue down. I always forget that in this category, this bit isn't as technical as the rest. So right here we have this weird thunder key. By grabbing the thunder key, these platforms basically get powered and we can walk on top of them. Like so. And that's going to be really useful for a part later on. Well, basically, you have to use them. I wanted to use the flower. Thank you. Right here I'm walking around the sides to skip a fight, because you can just do that. And then we have this little maze of doors, and luckily I kind of know where to go. There we go, at the end of the maze, and we get into this bit where there's a little fight. We also saw a different key. We don't need that key because we skipped most of the dungeon. And we're just gonna go straight up and put this little, this thunder key into that apparatus, which makes all these wheels turn, and in turn, they turn the gate up. And then I'm going to thunderstorm the statue from far away, because if I get too close, there's like a cutscene like, oh hey, that's a big statue, I wonder what you can do with it. Which takes a long time. So we can just do this right here. The brush on the Switch version is you can control it with the stick, with the touchscreen, and with motion controls. And I'm currently using the stick because that's what I'm used to. So right here we're going to go into a 2D section. It's like the only 2D platformer section in the game. Weirdly enough, I don't know why it's here. And we're just gonna go jump up here. So we're basically just skipping most of the intended way. You kind of have to wait the cycles, and by waiting the cycles, you can get up. But instead of waiting for the cycles or using brush powers, we just kind of cheese most of these jumps and just go straight up here. If I was fast enough, which I... damn. I messed up the final jump. You can basically skip having to wait for this cycle and just instantly get to this part. So right here, as you enter the key into the apparatus, another cycle starts. And I can just kind of take my time here because I'm gonna have to wait anyway, because this cycle kind of starts at a bad spot. So like right here, I have to kind of wait for this wheel to turn. I'm gonna see if I can go through here quickly. Oh wow, I kind of clipped in there. That's cool. So fun fact, you can stop these wheels by using Power Slash. A lot of people didn't know that. Okay. After that area, we're gonna go into the next area, and we're gonna do more glitchy stuff. I'm gonna run up here. And go here. So there's like 4 different ways to do this skip. And I'm currently doing the easiest way, mostly because I'm not very practiced in the other ways anymore. So we're just doing this one. And by doing this, we're basically skipping to a certain section of the game. So we're doing another brush adventure here. I haven't really done many in a while. We basically just push the brush out of bounds, and that allows us to draw a cherry bomb on the other side of that wall, which allows us to go to the best character in the game. This is Toby. He basically races you throughout the dungeon. However, we just kind of skip to the last race, where sadly he does die, so rip Toby. Best character in the game. We can actually skip killing Toby nowadays, but I've tried learning that skip, and it is a little bit weird and difficult, and I haven't really been able to do it. So yeah, I'm going to go for the easier ones that I know how to do. So right here, we're finally going to have a boss fight. What? This game has boss fights? I know, right? So this is Ninetales. Ninetales works in phases. First you have to hit him and then use Thunderstorm to split him up into these parts. And you just have to kill all of them to continue on and do it again. So I'm also, every time I'm doing this, I'm looking for a specific version of himself, because they take more damage. In this case I couldn't find him in time, so I had to use more than one slip. And then we're gonna go to the next phase where you just fight him normally. But we're kind of overpowered, so we just... Wow, I'm getting unlucky. Okay, we just kill him in one hit, was supposed to happen, but we didn't, so... And by doing that, we finished the dungeon. So we actually finished the dungeon, guys. Isn't that amazing? 1 hour and 45 minutes in. After having visited multiple dungeons already. So after that, we get a nice little respite before we continue on to another highly technical section of the run. So I'm gonna take a sip of water.
You gotta be hydrated.
Very much so, especially in this weather. So yeah, when we finish the dungeon, Waka comes up and is like, "Oh, I hear thunder in Shinshu Field. Whatever could that be?" So I guess we're going to Shinshu Field now, eh? So we're gonna run over here, and in the distance you see the little shining thingy. That's a cat statue, and we're gonna be using it to get up to the upper platform of Shinshu Field. And there we go. And then we got, over there we got a giant dome. I like to call it Thunderdome. The reason why I call it Thunderdome is because you have to use Thunderstorm on the dome. Thunderdome. And by using Thunderstorm, it opens up a... excuse me? A tiny little door over there. Woo. And after going into the Thunderdome... oh boy, I'm dropping frames. Uh-oh. Frames, come back! Come back, frames! Okay, frames are back. Cool. So yeah, after going through here, we enter the next area of the game. This is Kamui. It's like the freezy north part of Nippon. And we're going to be doing a really cool and interesting skip. We're going to be positioning ourselves over here and angling our camera specifically. I'm kind of lining it up to be straight with the wall. And then we're going to push our camera through the ground, like so. Now we're going to keep pushing down for a little bit, and after doing so, we see this area. And then once we reach a specific point, we're going to turn our camera down, all the way, rebrush, and then for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Move our camera like that, and then a little bit further down. Just get myself in a better position, and then we are blooming the tree from Kamui all the way out of bounds, which is a pretty damn awesome skip. This basically skips a big fight and another little story related thing that takes a while, and it's pretty sweet. It is probably the coolest brush adventure. It's been workshopped a bit to make it a little bit easier. The first version of this was pretty difficult to achieve. I had a lot of trouble with it. So yeah, this fight we can skip, but I don't really mind it too much. You don't lose, you lose like a second from not skipping it. So I tend to just go for the fight in this category. And then we're just gonna go straight into the next village over there, where we're gonna do more skips. Hope you guys haven't had enough of skips yet.
I had a feeling there might be more.
Mm-hmm. So we're nearing the end of the run, but we're not at the end of the game yet. So this village is Webkir. Currently all the villagers are hiding, but we don't mind. We don't really need to interact with them at all. It's fine. I'm just gonna go up the village, like so. And then go all the way to the side right here. And jump over here out of bounds. So I'm basically jumping up some invisible walls here. And I'm doing that basically based on feel and sound. Because there we are again. And then we go on the other side of the mountain, we run down, and we go to this mountain over here. Come on, work with me, Amy. I'm gonna go through here. And this is gate skip. So we just skipped a gate that would take a long while to open. And instead we just kind of jumped around it out of bounds to go into one of the final areas of the game. So this is called Azufuchi, which is basically a reference to the holy mountain of Nippon called Fuji, except it's 2 mountains. What? And inside of those mountains are a shrine, and that is going to be our next dungeon. So over there you got that giant, cool looking door, and that is the entrance to that dungeon. Or the shrine, rather. Now, you're supposed to do a really big, giant amount of hours worth of content of story to get inside of this this door. But luckily we have a cool skip for it. That saves probably at least half an hour in speedrunning time. We're going to be using this vine over here to get ourselves stuck on this wall. And by doing so, we land on the other side of an invisible wall which allows us to get into the loading zone, into the shrine. There we go. So yeah, this is a Wauku shrine, which is going to be one of the most technical areas in the game in this category, so that's fun. And also the main reason why we got Fire Burst in the first place. So we're going to start off by running over here. As long as we run over here, those cannons can't hit us, so we can just kind of ignore them and just run into the next area. So this is like the center of Wauku. And we're gonna jump straight here, and we're gonna do another cool brush adventure. So we're gonna push it out of bounds, rebrush, push it around the gate, and then push it a little bit like that. Come on, work with me. Yeah, cool. And because this is New Game Plus, we can just draw a giant fire burst. Oh, I'm not close enough yet. Okay. So I want to get close enough to melt that giant ice pillar. And that can get a little bit finicky when I'm doing Brush Adventure, but this should work. Oh wow! Okay, I'm getting really unlucky with this one. Oh, and I moved the camera. Okay. Let's do that again. And this Brush Adventure can be a little bit annoying to do. Okay, this should be workable. Also, Fire Burst is the worst brush power. Wow, I'm not getting it. I should be close enough right now. There we go. Oh my lord. So there we go. That's how we skip that gate, and then we're gonna go on to the next bit of this area. Check to see if I still have speed. And go up here. So right here, you're supposed to have like a time slowing brush power to allow you to continue on to the next bit. But luckily for us, we can just kind of jump around these spinning wheels, and the cannons won't hit us either, so we just kind of cheese this little bit. But for the next bit, we do actually need the speed slowing power, but for some reason, if we use Fire Burst, the game also slows down. So we can abuse the fact that using Fire Burst slows down the game as well to get through that bit. So we do not need to get the actual time slowing brush power, which is pretty cool. There we go. Quick little fight, and then we're gonna get ourselves our next brush power. So I'm using the first person camera right here to zoom in the camera just a little bit, so I can use Fire Burst close enough to melt that ice over there. And then simply by pausing the game by using the brush, I can get these wheels in the right position and get ourselves our next brush power. Well. So this brush power is Blizzard, and it allows us to control ice, like so. But we can also get like these ice platforms to happen, and we're going to be using that in a little bit. However, first we're going to have to do a really big and quite difficult skip that skips about 4 minutes of run, called Nechku skip. So we're going to go over here. Oh. Make sure I don't get a wall jump, because I don't like that method. There we go. I'm gonna go over top. And then do this little jump. Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to reset that. Again, I don't like wall jumps too much when I'm doing this trick. I'm gonna go out of bounds right here. And go back in bounds over here. So we just by doing that, we skipped 4 minutes of run. And then we're gonna go over to this bit, and we're gonna use Blizzard to create these platforms. And go to the other side. So to be able to continue here, we're supposed to have that time slowing brush power, but we don't have that. So once again, I'm gonna have to try and time a fire burst, but of course it's not working because fire burst is the worst brush power. Yep. Okay. We're kind of looking at what that golden cannon is doing, and then shooting back the golden cannon's shots at him. Oh damn, I probably could have gotten that one. And basically what I'm doing by jumping when I go to do that, I make it shoot up so I can quickly power slash it back and find it. So by doing that twice, I can continue on and do this little fight. And go to this area. So another cool thing you can do with Blizzard is by drawing this pattern, you can create Icicle, which allows us to get ice from everywhere. And it saves some time over doing something like pushing a certain ice ball all the way over here, which is really difficult and really finicky. And then from this one, we're going to be jumping over here and continue on. And then we're here at the end of the dungeon, which means we've got another boss fight on our hands. You guys, I'm gonna spoil you with boss fights. So this boss fight is sadly kind of So we just kind of use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 slips, and the fight's over. So that's that boss fight. Woo! New Game Plus boss fight! Though in New Game we also defeat this boss in the exact same way. So after defeating that boss fight, suddenly we have this arc floating in the middle of this lake. I'm gonna go over there and enter it. Because this arc is interesting. It has a lot of story-related stuff bound to it, which I'm not going to spoil. But yeah, we got these nice little symbols on the wall. And we got this guy who's trying to sell us stuff, and I'm just like, nope, I'm not interested. I've got all the stuff I need. And we're just gonna go over here to this dude with 2 swords. So this arc is basically a giant boss rush. So each of those 5 symbols represents a certain boss that if you played the game casually and normally, you would have met along the way. But we have skipped them all except for a couple. And now we're just gonna have to fight them anyway. So this is Blight. You're supposed to have this time slowing ability to kill him. Luckily, he has one attack where you don't need that ability to kill him, basically. And because we're overpowered, we just kind of shoot him down very quickly. And just like that, we finish that boss. Okay. And every time, like every other boss we do, we get little floating people telling us a bunch of backstory about this arc and about the game, and it's pretty cool. And again, I'm not going to spoil anything about it. It's a lot of exposition. So we're just going to go straight up to the next boss. So this boss is called... I'll just wait. I keep doing the commentary too quickly. Bad habit. So this boss is called Orochi. It has 8 heads, and on the first phase we need to basically water spout 3 heads to be able to get to the next phase. Cool thing is, if we let the earth attack first, we can basically get all the heads to attack whenever. So what we do is we trigger earth, then we trigger poison and light. And after doing that, make sure that earth gets up. And we can water spout them at the same time. There we go. Oh, forgot a menu thing. And then we go to the next phase. So in the next phase, it's just about killing them. So I'm gonna equip this weapon, and we're just gonna whack them one by one. And the way we do that is we move over here, let them do that specific attack, and time our sword hit basically to kill them quickly. At the same time, you see all these big fire things drop. Those will hurt me, and they're completely random. So you can get unlucky and get hit by fire and get a bad phase. But that was a perfect phase too, so that's awesome. That was a really nice Orochi fight. And from this point on, basically, the game gets really boring, personally. Especially as a speedrun, it gets kind of boring, because, well, it's a boss rush. And it's a boss rush where we have to constantly keep moving a lot as well between the bosses. Like, the rest of the bosses are incredibly easy and quickly to defeat in any category. And even the final boss is a bit of a tragedy. God, English is hard. When it comes to defeating it. So yeah. So this is Spider Queen. She's the Tsuta Runes boss, and you basically, the idea is she has these hooks on the back of her thing. And we want to bind those hooks so that she gets pulled open to reveal her insides, which we can then hit, or in this case, we can then slip. And I did it way too early. There we go. That's Spider Queen. So yeah, while I'm doing some movement, I want to give some shoutouts to the Ōkami community. Y'all are absolutely amazing. Basically, we're just always happy to help you guys and help like new people. And we've got a lot more documentation thanks to a lot of the new people coming into the category after the release of the PC, Switch, Xbox One, and PS4 version. So yeah, you guys are pretty damn awesome. There's also been a lot of new glitches found, a lot of new tricks that make categories like this, for instance, possible. So yeah, big shout outs to all you guys. I could name names, but there's like 10 names I need to go through to do all my shoutouts. So to do it justice, basically. So for this fight, this is Crimson Helm. You just need to get his armor off, and then he's a sitting duck. Boy. Yeah, boy. Got my positioning wrong at the end. But yeah, if you people are like, if anyone is interested in learning Ōkami, please don't start with this category. It's cool, but it is not recommended. There's a really good new game any percent new tutorial made by Alright. You can find it all through the speedrun.com page. Are all of the links to our Discord and all our guides and our wiki, so you can go and check out everything over there. There's also a nice beginner route for New Game Any Percent, because the actual New Game Any Percent route is quite difficult. Let's just say it would take you at least 10 hours of practice to be even able to do a single run of it. So yeah. And it is still a very satisfying run to do. Yeah, Ninetales, thank you. I did my damage. Hello. This happens from time to time, where Ninetales just kind of ignores you. Nice. Got the fast strat there at the end. So those are the bosses in the boss rush. And now we only have to do the final boss now.
You've truly spoiled us with all these bosses.
Mm-hmm. Told you. So yeah, now the arc has kind of changed. It's went from red to blue because we completed all the bosses. And then this portal appears to the next area. And basically, getting that portal to appear early is the holy grail of Ōkami speedrunning, because that would create a category that would take about half an hour to complete, which is a little bit ridiculous. So this is the final boss of the game. This is Yami, also known as Giant Orb, or Ball, whatever you want. And the basic idea of this boss fight is that you have lost your brush powers to him, and you have to fight him to get them back. Now, because we are so overpowered, basically what happens is that we deal so much damage to him that we just deplete his health so quickly that, yeah, it basically becomes somewhat of an auto-scroller, because we just kind of deal enough damage to get a brush power back, and then get the brush power back, and then deal enough damage to get our brush power back, and so forth. For instance, for this phase, he has no more health. So I just depleted all of his health, but I still have to go through the motions to get all my brush powers back before I can go to the next phase. So that's kind of the tragedy of Ōkami speedrunning, is that Yami is an incredibly boring boss when played casually without using any slips or overpowered items or whatever. it is actually a very interesting and cool fight. But it's not fast to do it like that. So if you play this casually, please don't do what I'm doing. Especially because I'm going to be cheating. I'm going to be rigging the slots right here by using 5 slips. So we're going to be cheating at the slot machine. So yeah, by dealing a lot of damage in this phase, he'll basically always have this pattern and will always give me brush power back. So that's why I like to call this rigging the slots. So after having done this phase, we can go on to the next phase. So for this second to last phase, I'm just gonna front load 6 slips. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. And after every time I get a brush power back, I will use another slip. And yeah, I know I've gone over estimate, but that's fine. I'm not gonna go too far over estimate, don't worry about it. Okay, one more slip, and then we're gonna go into the next phase, or the last phase. So get ready on time in a bit, like half a minute. So this load always takes too long. And then the last phase, everything is dark, so we have to use sunrise. We have to use sunrise to get it light again, and then kill Yami in one attack. So get ready on time. And time.
GG.
GG. So the RTA time is not that interesting because we have this in-game timer that tells us what the time is. That's actually slower than the RTA time. That doesn't happen very often. Huh. Interesting. So yeah, this was Ōkami New Game Plus 2017. It is a very interesting and cool category. It's a marriage between 2 other categories, and I really like it. And yeah, shoutouts to the entire Ōkami community for working on this game. You guys are awesome. So yeah, that's about all I've got. So, Snowdog, you got anything to say?
All I have to say is thank you for doing that run. I'm mainly confused with a lot of the glitches, I have to say.
There's a lot. There's a lot.
But yeah, everyone stick around for our next game of Marvel Spider-Man. Remember, there is still a bid war going on, so if you want to snipe one clothing or add more onto the winning one already, go ahead. You're supporting a great charity while you're doing it.